What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the instrument cluster and the steering wheel inside of the Ford Escape Hybrid. Now, this is going to be the same roughly for the regular hybrid as well as for the plug-in, because everything for the most part is going to be laid out the same. There are a few extras that come in the plug-in version of the vehicle, though. But let's dive into it. Let's have a little bit of fun and see how all of these buttons work inside of this vehicle. Next up, let's take a peek at the steering wheel of the vehicle. So starting off with the pad on the left-hand side, so the titanium does have the adaptive cruise control system, and that's part of the Copilot 360 Assist Plus package as well. Where we can turn the system on or off, we can increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time just by moving this knob up or down. We can cancel or resume. We've got our distance indicator and then our lane centering system. So the lane centering system is the one that's literally going to keep us in our lane balanced out as we drive. We can either increase or decrease the volume as well as muting it out if we want to. Looking along the right-hand side, we do have our heads-up display there, so we've got a few different options for the actual menu. So we've got our adjustment as well as the content for the actual heads-up display, so what shows up, distance indicator, incoming calls, lane keeping system, navigation, etc. So we can literally select whatever one we want showing up inside of the heads-up display, or we can turn the whole display off if we wanted to. So we do have a little bit of flexibility there, which is a nice thing. Along the right-hand side there, so this pad is going to let us go through different sub-menus. So we'll get to that one in just a second, and then we can go up and down through different screens by literally moving this up and down, and then we can press the OK button in the middle there in order to be able to reset things if we wanted to. So we just press and hold, reset our different modes there, so we do have that option. Along the bottom, we can either change between songs or radio stations, we can hang up or answer a phone call, and then we've got our voice command prompt. Now, if we did have either an Android or an iPhone device connected through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, we can literally press and hold this one in for a second or two in order for it to actually have that side of things show up. So we can use our Siri Assistant by doing a quick press and hold. By doing just a quick tap, it's going to just be our regular voice command prompt instead for the vehicle. Now, I said that we're going to get back to this one because we can jump in between different active screens, just depending on which way we go. So we've got our base calming screen, we've got our fuel economy, there's our trip 1-2 counters, tire pressure, back to our calming screen again. By pressing this button on the steering wheel, we can now do a select for different screens. So I'm just going to kind of zoom in a little bit just to get a little bit of an understanding about what's going on as we go. Just kind of go in a little bit, and here we go. All right, so starting off, we can select screens so we can show which ones show up as we move between our different screens. Moving back, we've got our audio, so we can change between AM, FM, Sirius XM, or like I said, if we have a USB stick with MP3s on there, our phone's connected, etc., it would show up as an audio source. If we had a route going, we could actually, if we want to, we can go My Home. We can go to look at previous destinations as well. And when we do that, we're going to go to Navigate.
Please
it's going to take a
proceed
sec.
to the highlighted route, and then the route guidance will start.
So we've got our navigation there. We can cancel the route out if we wanted to. Pressing the menu button there. We've also got our phone, so we can connect to our phone that way as well. We've got some basics for our setup, so our oil life, neutral tow mode as well. So if we're towing the vehicle, we can go neutral tow mode to do that. And then we've got our display setup. So do we want to show miles per hour as well as kilometers per hour? Do we want to show the power gauge? Do we want our eco coat showing up as well? So how is it showing up? And then we've also got our driving history. So we've got a few different options there, and then we can just go back in order to jump back into the main screen. So not a ton of stuff, but it is nice to know that we do have quite a little bit of flexibility for the actual steering wheel and the cluster there. Now, looking at the stick on the left-hand side, so right on the very tip of the stick there, we do have a little button, and that's going to be for our lane keeping system. So we can easily turn that system on or off. So as you can see there, this is going to show up when the system's on. Now, we do have to be going about 60 kilometers an hour. That's going to go green when the system's actually activated. And what that'll do, that's the one that's going to keep us bouncing our lane as long as the vehicle recognizes the lane markings there and we are going the appropriate speed. We can flash at our high beams there if we want to. Along the stick on the right-hand side, we can adjust what's going on with our windshield wipers. Along the very tip of that right stick, we can just make it up, but there's a little button there, and that's going to be the switch itself for our rear window wiper, so we can adjust that one as we need to. Now, one thing to point out, this digital cluster screen is going to be standard in the titanium. It's optional inside of the SEL, and it's unavailable inside of the SE. So the full digital will not be standard in the SE. It'll just be our regular gauges there, and then we're going to have a little 6.5-inch instrument cluster screen there instead inside of the SE. But overall, I do like the way that this thing does look. And that's going to be the basics, of the instrument cluster as well as how the buttons work on the steering wheel. So that is kind of neat, right? Now, I do love the fact that inside of the titanium trim, we do have the adaptive cruise control system standard, and we can get it as an option in the other packages there as well, the other trim levels. But if you have any questions, want something else answered, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. I'm more than willing to talk you through any issues that you might be having. If you enjoyed the video though, give it a thumbs up and share it with your social networks, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until I see you next time, take care.